So after the May 3rd order, I filed my appeal. I filed it on May 31st. In the process of filing my appeal, there were some issues with my transcripts. One of the court reporters were interfering with me getting my transcripts. That can be seen on episodes 58 and 59. Trial courts disregarded evidence submitted to the courts from plaintiffs August 30th, 2023, 148-page contempt petition with exhibits showing defendant violated custody orders repeatedly and maliciously since 2015. Plaintiff proved with evidence, exhibits, testimony, direct and cross-examination, and credibility that defendant lied under oath multiple times, made false statements under oath, false reports, 2 bad faith contempts of court, 2 incidences of child abandonment, defendant and family verbally abused and threatened plaintiff in front of child on August 23, 2023, and conspired to frame defendant with false allegations to law enforcement. This is about the motion to recuse, talk about how my little brother and the judge's sister were in a relationship, and I felt that was a conflict of interest. 2020 and 2021 litigation involved plaintiff exposing 3 Luzerne County children and youth employees for allegedly obstructing justice and a guardian ad litem, Marsha Basco, for allegedly obstructing justice and extortion. Marsha Basco has had close connections with LCCYS and has also worked as a mediator in Luzerne County Family Court in 2022. Judge Tara Toohill has close ties with LCCYS and the former director of LCCYS, Joanne Van Sohn, who was arrested in 2021 for endangering children. Judge Toohill's March 3rd, 2024 order fabricates plaintiffs' interactions with GAL and CYS. This fabrication of documented facts points to another possible motive for retaliation, discrimination, bias, abuse of power, and abuse of discretion. Denial of relief is a violation of parental rights and child abuse, considering Sadia had been subjected to a rape kit in May of 2023 due to false allegations by defendant, then a second rape kit ordered by the trial court judge Tara Toohill March 14, 2024. This order also consisted of cherry-picking incidents from litigation from 2020 and 2021 that had already been litigated before 2 competent judges of this jurisdiction. These cases from 2020 and 2021 have been litigated over the course of a year, consisting of 6 different hearings. Trial courts maliciously took away father's parental rights based off of false allegations, hearsay, and unsubstantiated claims that father has a violent past. Plaintiff has had 0 PFA violations since January of 2016. Not one piece of substantial evidence has been submitted by the defendant that proves allegations of plaintiff being violent. Trial courts committed numerous unlawful acts to plaintiff by removing parental rights with no grounds or standing to do so. Judge Tara Toohill is subjecting plaintiff to public humiliation, financial ruin, professional supervised visitation, and subjecting child to abuse and parental alienation. Trial courts abuse their discretion by disregarding a timeline of events, evidence, civil rights, and parental rights. Trial courts are working against the best interests of the child even after being made aware of numerous constitutional violations. Considering the merits of this case, these actions are unacceptable due to the suffering, pain, and humiliation it inflicts on plaintiff and child. Sadia Thurston is an 11-year-old child with a disability that is being exploited by attorney in trial court. Child has a hard time communicating but receives SSI. Child funds have been used in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, and 24 to pay for attorneys in cases that are working against the child's best interest. Child abuse, denial of court precedent, retaliation, abuse of discretion, abuse of power, deprivation of rights under color of law, duress, defamation of character, abuse of immunity, violation of parental and civil rights, violation of 5th, 8th, and 14th Amendments have been committed by trial courts. This onslaught displays an abandonment of oath and a breach in the public trust. A child with disability and law-abiding citizen is being exploited and abused by the system of justice. Plaintiff is a Kids for Cash victim and experienced a number of injustices against myself, family, and community here in Luzerne County. We all depend on the Constitution and respectfully expect it to be upheld and enforced. It is understood that our Declaration of Independence is not legally binding, but it continues to inspire us, and we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We, the people, are praying for justice within our justice system. God, please grant your mercy on my family and all the victims of the Pennsylvania Commonwealth who have suffered before and after me the immeasurable and irreparable harm and merciless retaliation for exposing the crimes of the Commonwealth officials. Please protect our judicial process and those governing the decision and review. Thank you, Honorable Judge Amesbury and the Honorable Judge Hughes, for protecting my family. I respectfully request my parental rights and Sadia Thurston's rights are upheld before my brief is due. I respectfully request to remove the Judge Tara Toohill from me and my family's life. I respectfully request a reversal of the unjust and unlawful decisions made by the trial court, Judge Tara Toohill, and to receive a fair and impartial, unbiased trial with another judge within or without Luzerne County. My daughter cannot speak for herself. Plaintiff is her biggest advocate. Plaintiff's text message gives Sadia Ann Thurston a voice. The judge responded to this. One of the first things she says is, she's mocking me for saying thank you to Judge Amesbury, and then she puts a keynote and says, interestingly, Judge Amesbury obviously found finding father not credible, granted mother a 3-year no contact PFA and father after a hearing in 2019. Despite him granting the PFA, which Luzerne County is the highest ranking for granting PFAs, Judge Amesbury is the one that placed protections on my daughter the following year in 2020. And this is why I thanked him in my statement to the Superior Court. The judge just, every little thing that I wrote, she just had something to say about it. I'm not going to read all of it. It's just repeating the entire case. This can be seen on episode 34, where she's saying, father's explanation of why he didn't believe mother was in home where Jasmine was supposed to be is incredible. Mother sent him a picture of father sitting in his car in front of where mother was. If there wasn't numerous incidences of this type of deception in the past, then I can understand. Father was found in contempt for withholding the child from June 30th until July 12th. I can't imagine how much time it took her to go through every little thing and come up with a response. I mean, this is hours and hours of taxpayer dollars being used to try to frame a father and create these false narratives. You know how you're a judge. How did you become a judge? Which is true. I did say that because I don't know how she became a judge. How can you commit crimes against an innocent father and autistic child just because you don't like the father? And finally, as the hearing ended, and as father was obviously agitated because he didn't get the decision he wanted immediately, the following occurred. The court is concluded. I'm going to have to give you an order. Just wait in the hallway and take a deep breath. And I said, you take a deep breath. You belong in handcuffs. Whereupon the matter concluded, which, you just subjected my daughter. This is physical abuse. You subjected my daughter to a second rape kit examination. I'm upset. Any parent, any loving parent is going to be upset at this point in time. The staff and at least one sheriff loudly instructed that the hearing concluded. See, the staff and at least one sheriff, she threw that in there, at least one sheriff. No, they didn't. The sheriffs are just as pissed off as I am. The sheriffs see what she does. None of the sheriffs, the only time the sheriffs ever raised their voice was at mom and mom's family because they would lash out on the stand and the judge would just be sitting up there in her glory, like she enjoyed seeing me being cursed out, and most judges would, bang the gavel and say order in the court and have them, like let them know they have to calm down, but not Judge Toohill. She allows them to lash out and yell and scream and even curse at me in the middle of these proceedings.